Before we get into today's interview, we would like to give a shout out to our new Patreons, Irene and Bev. If you would like to support us too and receive free and behind the scenes stuff for as little as $4 a month, go check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Rave It Up. Your name could be up here too. Now, let's get into the interview. Hey guys, it's Lauren Yates here, and I'm privileged to bring another amazing new find to our new find segment. This is Tansy. She's a pop, soul, R&B, I don't even know, like you just do everything. Found her through a mutual friend of ours, Dom from Alive 90.5, who used to be at SWA with me. And I'm so privileged to have you on the show today. Thanks for coming,
I'm so
Tansy.
privileged to be here. This is just awesome.
I know, she's getting nice and comfortable. That's why I decided to have us on the couch today.
Goldie Hawn business today. So
That's how you love what she's wearing. She's got the flares. She just had to get them in the shot.
I had to, yes. Yeah. See how wide.
Well, I can't wait to talk about your whole life. I had a lot of fun just looking through your biography, and I really appreciate the whole the facts that you gave me, like dot points. Really, really helpful, by the way. Not a lot of people do that. So I'm really, really excited to chat to you about all areas. I really want to start from the beginning, though, if that's okay.
Yeah, cool.
So we can kind of get a good idea of who you are, how you made it to where you are today, how you've gotten this amazing energy and spark for life. I love it, the positivity. You did grow up around music, so it kind of makes sense why you got into it. Your dad was a classical tenor and opera singer. That's really cool, very high up. But was there any other careers that you personally wanted to pursue when you were younger? Or did he kind of force you into it?
No, not at all. That was organic. There was always three things. There was art, there was writing, like as in fiction or books or whatever, and there was singing.
Kind of all art, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
In a way, yeah.
And I have to say I tried the other two first because I was very shy. So I hated being on stage.
I was going to talk about that a bit later too, yeah, because we were both very shy.
I would get very deer in the headlights whenever I was on stage. So I thought, when I came to Sydney, I thought...
Start with the easy stuff.
Nobody knows I can sing. I'm not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just run as fast as I can in the other direction. So, but when I turned 30, I had this... I said to my boss, I need 2 weeks off. I'm not coping with 30. So
that's what we all need to say.
And I went away and I just thought, you're floating. You're not doing what you're meant to be doing. You need to be doing music. Yeah. So
I'm so glad you realised that.
Yeah.
You're still doing the writing and the art as well?
Yeah.
Can we expect a book in the future?
Done art for a long time. Yeah, I am writing a book. But
cool.
I've made a rule about this book. Everything I do obsessively. And I've decided with the book, I'm going to do it when I feel like it.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Just be easy. And as it goes, and I've already got about 70,000 words. But
whoa, okay.
So there's probably going to be hack. You know?
Otherwise it's going to be a mega book.
Yeah, mega book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been working on that for a while, on and off, when I can't resist the urge to do something about it, but then I'll sort of step away and leave it. But
I get more into the music. Yeah.
I haven't. This kind of gone into like some kind of social media things that I've been putting my artistic framework into.
Yeah. As long as you're putting it somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So was it painting or drawing?
I'm very drawing.
Yeah.
But also painting and doing weird stuff, like doing paintings with wax so that they're three-dimensional and
that's so cool. I'd love to see that. I need to try that. I haven't thought about that before. Adding wax to it.
Just weird media.
Yeah.
Just going,
not weird.
Let's see
It's
what
art.
happens there. Yeah, no, I haven't done art for a while.
Oh, okay. Who knows? You might get back into it now that I've brought it to your attention. Yeah. So you were born in New Zealand and you came to Australia at the young age of 8. And looking at your lovely fact sheet that you gave me, you also started writing songs when you were 8.
Yes.
I was wondering, is there a bit of a connection there? Did you start writing songs because maybe you were, sad about leaving New Zealand and just wanted to write everything down?
No, actually. there was a ukulele involved.
Oh,
And,
isn't that where everybody starts?
and the first song was really bad.
Oh,
But
everybody's
I
first
always
song
wrote
is bad.
poetry. So it was just a natural segue with all
Yeah.
the music in the house. I mean, there was always music in the house. So, yeah.
oh, cool. I just thought maybe there might have been a sadness and you needed to write it
No,
down
because
like
it was
a journal.
It was pre, before we left, before we
Before
even
you
knew we were
left.
leaving. Yeah, so.
Isn't it interesting? I love hearing about how people get into songwriting because it is, yeah, as you said, it's similar to poetry, but then you've got to add, all the music elements to it that you might not, know much about, especially if you haven't gone to study it or anything like that. Did you go study music as well?
No.
all
My dad was actually a
natural.
music teacher as well. The only advice he ever gave me was listen to the singers that you love and try to emulate them without hurting your throat. That was it.
That's good
'Cause after
advice.
he'd been teaching all day, there's no way he wanted to come home and teach more snotty-nosed brats. So, and we went very, we were like, yes, let's go outside and play, not come home from school and do more work. But I'm kind of disappointed I didn't
Oh.
pursue musical training with him
But
more.
in a way, it's all natural. It's just your natural talent because
Well, I
she is an
did what he
amazing
said.
singer.
I did what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's obviously paid off, which is lovely. Now, I have to bring this up because I
Yep.
did find it quite interesting. Your parents were fundamentalists, Seventh-day Adventists.
Adventists, yeah.
So you had a repressive upbringing. Here's a list of stuff she wasn't allowed: no movies, makeup, TV, swearing, meat, drinking and smoking, and music unrelated to religion was just
Yeah.
not allowed, which didn't suit you because you loved all different types of music.
Yes, I
So
did.
can you please tell, because I thought it was a very funny story, tell our audience about how you still listen to this music without your parents finding out.
Wow. I used to steal my father's radio and hide it under my pillow overnight and then sneak it back. I was very sneaky and stubborn about the things I wanted. So I also would wait till everybody had gone to bed and then I'd steal out of the room in the middle of the night and I'd go into the lounge room and I'd turn on the stereo and put my thumb over the light. So if anybody was going to the toilet, I have the headphones on. If anybody was going to the toilet, they wouldn't be able to see that there was anything there.
Yeah.
And
you're
then I'd
kinda
keep one
hidden.
half off my ear and just be like, can I hear them creaking? Are they going? And I'd be very still and not breathe while I was fast.
Did they find out at all?
No,
Wow, very good sneakiness. I hope no one's
I've never told them.
taking this on board. Well, now everybody knows.
I also, the hair came in handy too.
Yeah.
Because I used to steal it and hide it under my hair and go to school, and I nearly got expelled because it was a Seventh-day Adventist school. For listening
You
to
brought it to
music and-
school?
I did.
Oh, it's one thing doing it at home,
Rebel.
but to school. Wow.
Once I discovered modern music, that was it. That was. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did understand like the no drinking and smoking and even the swearing, no music unrelated to religion, and even the no meat rule. But why couldn't you, watch movies or TV or wasn't allowed to wear makeup? That just seems.
Okay.
But,
Well,
yeah, enlighten me. I'm
my-
not very. I don't know much about this area.
My mum and dad were very much stickler for. They felt that people in the entertainment industry were pretending to be something that they weren't, and that their lives didn't match
playing
up
a
to
character. Yeah.
how. So they didn't approve of exposing us to that sort of thing. We were allowed to watch The Sound of Music.
Well, that's good.
I saw that a million times, and we were allowed to. There used to be this amazing movie called The Beautiful People, and it was set in the Sahara, and basically it was all the animals, going from woe to go, even getting drunk on the drunk
So there you go.
elephants. But no, normal movies and stuff we weren't allowed to. And I think they didn't like to have the television. We only had it once because it came with the house we were renting. Because we'd all fight over what we wanted to watch.
Yeah, of course.
And they didn't like that. So it was reserved purely for news.
And it does
So-
make sense to make sure that the kids grow up being their authentic selves and not trying to be, as you said, someone else.
Yeah.
So that part I do understand, I guess, but I'm so sorry.
It was just
I'm
part
so
of the-
sorry that you were brought up like that.
Well, you know what? There were benefits.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Because this would seem like alien territory to the people today, but we went outside to play. We used our imagination.
What?
We made
Not an iPad? It's true.
no iPad, no telly, no nothing. You felt a little bit left out because the kids at school would talk about things on telly.
Yeah.
But we went outside to play. We were Indians on our sticks playing cowboys and Indians, and we were, we built cubbies in the jungle, and we just did all of that kind of stuff. Or we read a lot.
Yeah.
I grew up mispronouncing words because I'd only ever seen them. I'd say things like chauffeur and colonel instead of colonel and chauffeur and stuff because I'd only read them.
Yeah.
But
So you knew how it was spelt, and that's probably why you're a really good writer.
well, yeah, grew up reading.
So it's good in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But does that mean when you were finally exposed to things like movies and TV?
I love them.
And social media and things like that eventually, when social media came about, was that just really daunting to you? Like, what is this other world? What is makeup?
Well, I spent a bit of time going, TDK eyes. But, but I'm kind of, don't watch television that much as an adult. I have recently
real
gone to the Netflix
waste of time,
dark
but yeah,
side. But
Netflix, it's
Yeah,
a
it
vortex.
sucks you in,
Sucks
doesn't
you
it?
in.
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind watching documentaries, and I don't mind watching. I'm all about the renos.
Oh yes, the Reno shows.
I have renovated a couple of houses and no more ever. But
You have new respect for those
but I have
shows
an
now.
interest.
Yeah, it's like I'll just watch you do it, and you make the mistakes, and
My husband comes storming in and storming out again, and he goes, "How many renos can you actually need?"
once you've seen one, they're all the same.
That's it.
That's good. They're shows you can learn from, as
Yeah,
you said,
exactly.
like the documentaries and things, instead of a lot of movies that you most of the time aren't learning anything from. It's just
No.
to make time pass, right?
And I must confess, if I see a movie, it's got to be really gratuitous.
Oh,
If I see
yes.
something that's real life, I get really annoyed because I've lived most of that and it's not entertainment.
It's just reliving your past.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to come back to the
Yeah, sure.
shyness as well, because your first performance was at age 5. I could not believe that when I read that. That's so young. And your first original song performance was at 10.
Again,
So-
a very bad song.
Yeah, we're both. Come on, when you're that young, it couldn't have been amazing, right? It's like a 10-year-old song.
I've blacked it out.
Yeah.
It's not
But the actual performance, because, we had a lot of fun just with our big long emails before this interview, didn't we?
We did.
And we were talking about the fact that we were both very shy back then. How did you kind of get over that fear and be able to perform? Did you just bite the bullet and just do it to get over that fear? Or are you
I just
still scared
did
to
it.
this day?
I did. Sometimes nerves are a funny thing. I always get nervous before I perform. Always.
That's good. That means you care. You care about the performance.
That's what they say. And people say, if you're not having nerves, then it's going to be a flat performance. I don't actually find that. I find when I'm not distracted by nerves, I can perform so much better because I can just focus on what I'm feeling, which isn't nerves. But normally by the second or third song, it's gone and I'm just enjoying myself now. But those first performances, one of my dear friends who's busked all over the world kind of egged me on to get up at one of his gigs. I forgot my lyric. I forgot my name. I forgot everything. I just stood there.
My name is,
I sort of went, Dennis!
how could you make me do this?
But the thing I find with fear is that if you keep exposing yourself to the thing that you fear, you learn how to handle yourself around it better and better and better. So you can still feel it, but you put things in place to do under those circumstances.
Yeah.
And, you know,
You think you eventually feel comfortable with it? As it kind of becomes your comfort zone then, or
I'm
still a fear?
comfortable under certain conditions.
Okay.
I need my props, right?
Yes.
I need my mic stand. I need my musos. Musos. You know, if I've got my little thing set up there, I feel so much more comfortable. Yeah, and then it becomes all about connecting. I love the connection.
Yeah.
I love that.
So would you rather like a small intimate crowd, or would you
mind.
like those big crowds?
I've done both. Again, it depends on connecting.
You think
If I'm
which one do you think
connecting-
you're more nervous about?
I would probably get more nervous for a big crowd. But again, it's about connection. Like, I like to get close. I like to get close. And if that just means that everybody's jumping up and down and dancing. But, you know, I've been Muzak as well. You know, you're just background. I've done that a lot too.
Yeah. That's good
So,
practice.
It is. Because you can't do this industry without a thick skin. You really can't.
Preaching to the choir there. Oh my gosh. I know what you're talking about. Gotta have thick skin and get used to no's and create
and
your own
opinions
opportunities.
and-
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
So
we get it. They might not, but they're learning today. That's what matters. And you performed a mixture of originals and covers all over Sydney. So many different locations. I read in your biography.
yeah, over the
Do you
years.
have a favourite?
Yeah. Do I have a favourite? I used to love. I haven't actually sung there for a long time, but one of my favourite places was Watson's Bay Hotel, because the gig would start. I'm not even sure if they still do gigs there. I don't know.
Have to
But
check
they
that
used
now.
to. They used to have in the forecourt there, looking out over Doyle's and out over the water, and the sun would go down while he was singing, and you know, it was just magic.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Have to look that up, see if they still do gigs. Get you back in there. Maybe.
And where else have I really loved? Something bigger. I liked performing at the Metro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. The Vanguard was
Yeah, different
hilarious.
feeling there, isn't it, the Metro?
Yeah, because I've performed that. The stage is quite small,
Yes.
small at the Vanguard. And I used to do the gospel group there. So there was about 20 of us.
How did
and
you
we
do
were
that?
all, like standing sideways. Squashed into the
Try
wall.
not to bump someone else off the stage. Respect. Hey, once you've done that, I guess the stage must feel very big when it's just you.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny now, the COVID gigs. You see, like, you'll have the singer in the middle, you'll have the drummer over there, then you'll have the guitarist over there. And they're all sitting.
And you're like, you're so far away.
That's it.
Well, I'm sure you were so sick of like being on break for so long because of the COVID lockdown. So how was it to get back in the performing mode, and can we expect to see you anywhere performing live in Sydney soon?
I'm actually putting a new band together with the guy that I've been writing this latest album with. He goes by two names, Nick Monroe and Guy Monroe. On social media, you'll see him as Guy Monroe, but his first name's Nick, and I've known him for years, so I always call him Nick.
Nick, yep.
Sorry. So they're based in Wollongong.
Okay.
And that's I've done most of the work at his studio, Red Light Blue Light Studio. So a new band, learning a whole new repertoire, which is great, because you add a few little songs over the time, but I've just decided, nah, we're going for broke and we're just going to get all this fresh stuff.
Yeah.
So that's happening. right now, and we're going to be having rehearsals over the next month or so.
And then you'll start booking places.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's cool.
Yeah, let me know. I'll keep everyone up to date. Yeah. You seem like a very busy lady.
Busy.
Busy. That's good. It means you're never bored.
That's true.
I have noticed as well, you sing like a very big mixture, and I mentioned this right at the beginning, of like pop, soul, R&B, funk, with maybe a little bit of blues and jazz. Is there a reason for this, or you just like a little bit of everything?
different singing things that I've done. There've been places where all they want is pop. So
That's
if
very
they're going to
popular
pay
genre.
me, I'll go there.
I'll do pop for you.
And then there's also, there's some great pop songs.
Yeah.
Really great pop songs. And so I've done those gigs. I've done a lot of sort of R&B soul gigs over the years, a lot of funk. Been in an acid jazz band. I guess there's what I love, and then there's what the public wants.
Yes.
And you've got to have a judicious mix if you want to be living comfortably
As an actual singer
out of
full-time.
music.
Yeah.
You just have to. You can't be precious, and you can't be pretentious. You have to be versatile, and you have to be prepared to give the audience what they want, because you're there for them. But you can sneak a couple in for yourself.
Yes, of course.
Wrong with that. So that's why that list. I've come to blues late, like pure blues.
Yes.
Late, because I've been the last 3-4 years. I've been guesting with this great local blues band called Blues Exile. They're really good. Like,
Have to check them out.
and they're really good musicians. Emmanuel, he's a freak. He's the singer and the guitar player, and he just
Freak in a
stands
good
there
way.
so casually, like, like, what's going on over there? Yeah. So, and they had their last CD was 12 on the Blues and Roots charts, so it came up to number 12. Yeah.
Good on
So
them.
he's the songwriter, and they're such lovely people to work with. They are so cool. Yeah. So I love
they
doing
kind of
that.
got the blues roots in you, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I've been learning all this because of the childhood. There's this whole swathe of music that I totally missed. And so I'm constantly learning every genre that I do. I'm learning about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Gotta do
there's all
that
these
next.
people I never heard of that everybody else knows.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good. I'll have to check out you doing some blues then.
I love it. I love whaling. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Can't wait to hear it.
What other vocation do you get to yell at people and get paid for it? It's wonderful.
I love that. That's thinking outside the box. And when you did move to Sydney, you were age 20, and you'd already actually moved, was it a whopping 32 times?
Yes.
Why did you move that much?
Variety of things. My dad was a travelling salesman as well as a musician. He sold pharmaceutical goods and veterinary supplies,
Wow.
depending on which company he was working
Yeah,
for.
that's different.
So there was this whole period where companies were being taken over all the time, so there was a lot of retrenchments, so he had to move where the work was. Then there was Mum, who was a typical Sag, and she just couldn't look at a place without wanting to live there, to the point where they hadn't
to live here.
unpacked the boxes before she'd be looking at another place. So that was that.
Wow.
And also my brother, who was the firstborn, Brett, he was born with very mild cerebral palsy and some developmental delay. And he was a very frustrated person because he was this close to be able to do everything that we could, but couldn't quite bridge the distance. So he acted out a lot, and he wore out his welcome a lot. So that was part of it as well.
Part of the moving.
Yeah.
32 times though. You know,
I
I've had
know.
a lot of people
Like,
move
what?
a lot.
And
but-
that's what I remember. Yeah. There's probably more in there somewhere.
But the very fact that, we've unpacked, now Mum's looking for another place.
Exactly.
Wow.
Just adventure.
That just adds to the interesting childhood that you've had. But damn. And as you mentioned earlier, you did finally man up to do music at around, 30. I love that about you because you're really proving to everyone that you're never too old to go follow your dreams.
Oh,
'Cause there's a
no.
lot of people like, even their mid-20s, late 20s, that just give up on their dreams. You're like, I'm getting old. I got to settle down, have some kids or whatever. Just be able to make some money, pay the rent, whatever all these adult responsibilities we have. But what would you say to those people, to still go follow your dreams no
life
matter
doesn't
what?
end. Like there's no magical
30
number
isn't
where you
old.
need to hop into the coffin now.
Yes.
And just go, nail me down. It's life continues and you get bored if you're not challenging yourself.
Loving
Humans
what you
need
do.
to have that cycle of from the moment that we're born, we start making mistakes in order to get better. Even if you look at the way a toddler learns to walk, they do a little crawl and then they do a little walk and they fall down and they get up and they do. We need that. We need that failure, success. Otherwise, we just give this not alive. There's not alive. It's boring.
Definitely
And
agree.
I mean, I hear about people that are, rock climbing when they're in their 70s. I want to be that.
Yeah, me too.
I want to be that. And no matter what age my mum always used to say to me, when are you going to start dressing your age?
Oh,
And I said to her, at what
when people say
point
that.
do I stop being myself?
oh,
At
that
what
was a
point
good.
do I stop being
good
myself?
response.
At what point do I expire and then it becomes all about my age? I just don't think that's even valid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know there's a preoccupation with youth because they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They have this skin and they're just so gorgeous, and half of them don't even realize how beautiful they are. I look back at pictures of myself and I'm like, why were you so embarrassed of yourself? You were stunning. Look at your skin. I'm sorry.
As long as you learnt the lesson now.
And they're the ones with the disposable income as well. So it's a business thing as well as a natural predisposition of us as humans to be drawn to a beautiful aesthetic.
And we shouldn't be so focused on age as much as we are. Like, people think 30 that they're starting to get old. It's like, no. I think it was like Morgan Freeman that I don't think he got into acting until he was like 60.
Yeah.
That's quite late, but look at him.
There's quite a lot of people these days, and I think it is slightly starting to change. I mean, you see people like Sonia Kruger or trying to think of somebody else. Still incredibly beautiful, very fit, lovely to look at. And she has a wealth of experience to help her with what it is that she's doing as well. I think the experience of older people is wonderful. I know I love working with older musicians because they're so relaxed.
Yes.
They don't have anything to prove anymore. And they've just have this level of skill that is, they team it. They don't have to be the star of every show. And I like that because I'm working with people. I don't necessarily think of myself as the star. I want everybody to have their chance to have a go. And I've terrified some of my musicians going, solo, solo, and they go, they'll do it now because they're older and more
they know you're going to ask
experienced.
for it.
And my singers as well. Like, I like everybody to have their moment to shine. I think it's really important. And it's about, I don't know, a little bit about being in love with each other and what you're doing.
Definitely.
Yeah, because that's when you're like that, people key into it rather than competing with each other. There's no reason to compete.
No, everybody has a chance to shine,
Exactly.
as you said, and have their moment.
Exactly. And we
Help
all have
each other.
something to contribute. So, yeah. That's how
Loving
I like
this
it.
interview. Just share the love.
Sorry.
Share the love.
I
I'm so glad.
apologise. My laugh is very loud, as is
that's
my
okay.
voice when I'm singing. So I try to remember to...
Bring the microphone
I'm
back.
not as good with monitoring the laugh as I am with... I'm not quick enough, you know. When I'm doing the singing,
It's like,
I'm
oh yes,
prepped. It's like, here comes a
I'm
big
laughing.
one. See, I did it that time.
She was ready.
Snap.
I am really glad I brought that up though, you know, so that we can, you know, start sharing that message and even about age and, you know, one interview at a time, hopefully change the world for the better. Fingers crossed. That is what I always
you
hope
love
to do.
and support each other. You bring the best out.
Definitely.
And
It's
then
just
you can vibe off each other.
a much more positive world though, isn't it?
Magic.
Yes.
And that's
We're
what it's
creating
really
magic
about.
here today.
We are, Lauren.
are.
Because you're beautiful.
Thank you. Now, speaking of beautiful, check this out, guys. Isn't she gorgeous? Oh, we need to talk about Sweet December Rain. I had it there already. This is your first single off the Love album.
Yes.
When is this album ready for release? Because I did read on your website, it said like slow release over 2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
Does that mean just a single
Coming
every couple of
back-
months or something? And then here's the album. I know some people do that.
This is how it works now.
Yeah.
I did my research, Guppy.
People like just single drops.
So what they'll do is take Guy Sebastian, for instance. He will release single after single after single after single, and then he'll finally release the album with 3 or 4 tracks nobody's heard on it.
Yes.
And
Sneaky,
to me
isn't
that
it?
makes sense, because put the whole album out there, there's no anticipation,
That's very true, actually.
there's no surprise.
Yeah, and there's
There's
only
no
like
Here
probably
Comes
one
Christmas.
song that was like a single, and the rest is all new, and you're like... And as an
Yeah.
artist, how do you know which is everyone's favourite song, you know? Where you
true.
can kind of figure that out as you release single after single. So that's what you're going to do.
That's what I'm going to do.
Smart doing your research, girl.
YouTube's fabulous. YouTube just saves me again and
Yes,
again. It
it
teaches me
does.
about everything. It's like an international library at my fingertips.
It is true. Just the whole
How
internet
do I do
is university.
lyric video? Ooh, what programs do I need? Can I do it on my phone? Yes, you can.
The world is changing. So many different ways you can do it now. The internet, just in general, is amazing. Not just YouTube, but,
That,
you know,
that's true.
it's school, it's university.
It
it's,
is.
You know,
Anything you
can-
need to know, you can find
anything
it.
you need to know. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. You know, your learning never stops after school, guys. Oh, who would have thought?
I can't remember anything I learned at school.
No, but I love when you
Much.
actually want to learn something. You know, at school, how you just kind of most of the time forced to learn something.
Yeah.
When you want to learn something, it sticks in your brain a lot easier, and for longer for
Yeah,
long
I
term.
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So it has been a while since the release of your debut album, Freedom, as
Yes.
well. Were you just having a very well-deserved break because you have been working very hard?
No,
Or
no,
was
not
this
at
all your
all.
research time and your
I,
video
um,
editing and all
No,
that?
that's been very recent. That's been very recent. My life took the scenic route. I got pregnant with a wonderful little girl who had Pandora's box of disabilities. She was her own thing. The doctors thought she was... In fact, I had one doctor say to me, I don't get your child, she's weird.
Weird is good.
She had this whole, like, whenever I was telling anybody, it would be like I'd start at the top of the head and move my way down, and there would be something at every level.
Wow.
She was very high needs, and I was a single parent for most of her life. And so there was limited, because I have no family in Sydney who could, most of them are in Queensland. It was mostly through official channels that I had things like respite or because she was a little package of random chaos. So you could plan things, but then 9.5 point times out of 10 you'd have to cancel them because she was too sick and there was nobody else. So that's kind of, I went off there.
Yeah.
I still managed
Life
to
had
do
another
some,
plan.
yeah, and I'm glad it did. I wouldn't have missed that for the world. It was the most amazing experience. She was the most amazing experience, and I feel very blessed and very rich that she was my daughter, and that I got to experience that extraordinary amount of love. People go their whole lives without experiencing that.
Yeah.
And I just feel so blessed that she came and she was my daughter, and I was her puppet / slave servant. And number one fan.
Well, while you're talking about it, we might as well actually talk about it now. We can come back to the single very, very shortly, because it is a topic that Tansy and I were talking about just before the interview and over our emails, and I know it is a very touchy subject, and for a lot of people they wouldn't want to talk about it, and I completely understand why, because unfortunately your daughter did pass away in 2014. But I do want to actually talk about grief and how as humans we actually handle it, because everyone handles it differently. You know, there's some people that just want to bury it down and not want to even talk about it or think about it. And, you know, there is, you know, some people just want to get into their work and head down, bum up. But, you know, you need to have that healthy relationship with grief, don't you? Where you can eventually, like I just saw multiple times there, where you can still smile about, you know, some of the really nice memories you had with them. Where if you just bottle it down, it's not healthy at all. You do need to eventually be able to talk about it. And the reason I did want to bring it up with you is because, you know, obviously haven't met that many people that have unfortunately lost their child, which is a whole different type of grief. Not that I'm a mother myself, but I can understand. But also the other griefs, grieves? Is that the right word?
Yeah, griefs.
Griefs that you have actually gone through in your life, because you had your mother has unfortunately passed away as well, and I did have a list here. I want to get this right. I want to get this right.
Family left is what you're trying to say.
Right. No. I want to get this right from what they have unfortunately passed away with. Your mother was from motor neurons. Your eldest brother unfortunately passed away at 46.
Yes.
Very young, from autoimmune disease. One of your brothers was stillborn as well.
Yeah.
And then also you had a brush with breast cancer and a stroke.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm sure some of us can relate to something there, you know, either losing a loved one or a health condition or something like that. But I think the reason I did want to bring it up today is how you got through it, especially mentally, because, you know, when you go through all those things, it is very easy to just, I don't know, stay in bed all day and not want to face the world. But look at you now, you know, like I love your energy and your positivity, and looking at, you know, everything in life as a positive, and even with your daughter, just being grateful that you got that opportunity to experience that love in your life. So grateful.
It's a beautiful way of looking at it.
Would not have missed it. But I think the thing is, without being too esoteric, I think as humans, we have this incredible ability to be alchemists with our experience. And without sounding too much like The Secret,
go right ahead. I love The Secret.
I had a sort of The Secret experience before. The Secret was The Secret.
The Secret, yes.
I have to be honest and say the first couple of years with Barb, they were an abyss. I was grieving so hard that she couldn't see and she couldn't speak and she couldn't eat and she couldn't walk and she couldn't, you know, that she had all of these operations that were going to be happening in her life. One of the things you want to be able to do as a parent is protect your child, and even though you know logically in your head that there's some things you're not going to be able to protect them from, that's a lot to not be able to protect your child from. All of that pain. She was constantly in pain, and she always had a smile on her face. She was amazing. Those first couple of years, I was grieving so hard. My first paediatrician said to me a couple of weeks after Bubby was born, she said, don't forget, in all of this, even though all of this is going on, don't forget, this is your little girl. And you don't let yourself not celebrate that.
Yeah.
You know? This
that
is
you
your
actually
little
had a
girl.
baby girl, yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't supposed to be able to have kids.
Exactly.
From
and there's
very young, I was
lots
told
of
I
women out
couldn't.
there that are having issues
Yeah.
with fertility.
So, first couple of years, we'd finally gotten to some Department of Housing, and I sat down on my bed one night, so exhausted. I was frequently going to bed at 2 o'clock at night, and up first thing in the morning because she had epilepsy and half a dozen other things. Anyway, I was sitting there on my bed, and I was just so exhausted, and I was so sad, and I was just came into my head out of nowhere. I did not sign up to be this miserable. I am so unhappy, and I don't want to be this unhappy. I can't change my finances because obviously I was on the pension because I was a single parent. I can't change my daughter's situation no matter how much I wish there was some kind of amazing miracle that would just go ba-ding, and she'd be she'd be
Don't
like
we all wish that
Wonder
could happen?
Woman.
Yeah.
So there's things in this situation I can't change. They are what they are.
Yeah.
What can I change? And I
It's a
thought,
great way to look at it.
I can change. I can try to find something, anything that went right in my day. And I made a commitment to myself that every night before I allowed myself to go to sleep, I would sit on my bed and I would think of anything that went right in my day. From some guy helping me onto the bus, or the bus actually stopping because they'd see us and they go, not there, and keep driving. Or somebody helping me with the bags, or somebody, I don't know, it could be anything, the tiniest little thing.
And I'd smiled.
Try to think exactly,
something big like that. Yeah.
Something went right with, an operation, and so she went to a different level. Whatever it was, I would sit there every night and I would list those things to myself, and then I'd hop into bed. And it was interesting because gradually over time I felt that the more I said those things to myself, the more I looked for them, the more I saw them. And then I started to think, hang on a minute. Somebody's looking after me. This is amazing. And it just went on from there. Having had that experience, and I want to be perfectly honest, I had a counsellor and a Reiki / shaman / healer during those years, and they kept me sane. They seriously did. But when I knew that Bubs was going to die, because I took her to a kinesiologist to find out, because she'd always been such a fighter. She'd always been a fighter. And then she had a major episode where she fitted every 30 seconds for 5 hours.
Wow.
And she never recovered. And instead of going, fight, it kind of went, and I thought,
perfect time to
I need to hear it from the horse's mouth. So, and basically, the result of that was, she said, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I've done everything I wanted to do. I want to go.
Yeah.
And when we came out of there, it was like an elephant had climbed off her shoulders, because she was staying because she knew how much I loved her. And she didn't want to break my heart. So
How old was she at that time?
11. So I took her out to the station wagon, and I left the wheelchair, and I just sat in the back of the station with her and cuddled her, and I said to her, honey, you have fought so hard. You've always had such courage. You've always had such a sunny personality. You deserve to be able to choose if you don't want to be here anymore. Don't you worry about us. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
We'll be okay. And she didn't stay for very long after that. And actually, I had the same talk with her just before she died, because she started dying and we all freaked out. And I'd never done that to her, where I'd made her wear my emotions about what was going on with her, because I just think that is wrong, 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 wrong. Children should not wear their parents' emotional situation ever. It should be, without being fake, part of your protection of your child should be that they are allowed to have their emotions in their way without feeling like they have to be responsible for yours.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with parents who don't do that. We're all human, but I think that's unfair. She freaked out because we all burst out crying when she started dying, so she stopped dying.
No, I'm going to stay.
And she gets
Superwoman.
A couple of days later, I was lying in the bed with her and I said, honey, what are you doing? You know you want to go. What are you doing? Seriously, I apologise for what happened a couple of days ago, but we are going to be okay. It's natural for us to want to cry because we love you and we're going to miss you. But you go. You go. And then my Reiki / shaman / healer lady who'd been racing it every morning with her hair on end, trying to help her. She's beautiful, Christina Christou. Gave her exactly the same speech, almost word for word, and she took 3 little breaths and died.
Oh.
She was just waiting to be reassured. But in terms of grief,
And be like released.
I got back in touch with the counsellor when I knew that Bubby was going to die, because I knew it was going to be big for me. And she was like, well, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Straight to the point.
That's straight to the point. Yeah, so she helped. She was like, okay, if you got your chips in a row, you know, get all your logical stuff happening, like your finances and your accommodation and all of those things you're going to have to worry about afterwards. Do it now, so that you know where you stand and you're not having to deal with this when she's going.
You're just focused on you and your emotions.
But that experience that I was talking about earlier, of where I chose to change my reactions to things, and inadvertently, by thinking of good things that happen and being grateful for it. Gratitude's a big thing. That really helped me when it came to grieving, because I learnt that it's simultaneous. Life isn't always, ever really pure happiness or pure grief. It's quite often a mix of both at the same time.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah. And so if you can be aware that while you're grieving, the sun is still shining, the birds are still chirping, there's still really cool things going on if you choose to focus on them.
Yeah.
And having said that, allow yourself to grieve. Just allow it. Go pound a pillow, sob, be embarrassingly grievy. Be kind enough to yourself to let that happen.
Yeah.
And also, don't live your grief according to other people's expectations of you should be over it now. It was a while ago. Well, so what if you're really loyal and constant and that doesn't go away?
Yeah.
There's no formula for grief. And even when you think you've dealt with it, sometimes
still creeps back sometimes.
Yeah. You just need to, it's a wave. Grief.
Yes.
You just need to let it come and freely go through you, and cry when that's what's happening, and not apologize for it. This is your grief. You're entitled to feel it, whether that means you never cry, if that's what's honestly happening. If it means
but don't bottle it up,
you feel angry. If it means, these are all stages. And you know what I found out only recently?
What? Enlighten me.
There is guilt grief.
Yeah,
There's the grief that you hold on to because you feel like if you let go of the grief, it's another goodbye. But if you can remember that everything you feed get stronger. If you keep feeding your grief, it will stay with you. It will keep being grief. It will be fresh. And at some point you have to say to yourself, am I being kind enough to myself, keeping this alive?
Yeah.
You know?
Is it good for your mental health?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's probably all the things I would say about grief. There's pre-grief, post-grief, and all the griefs in between.
I never thought about the pre-grief. That is true.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when you know it's about to happen.
Yeah. And a lot of people feel that. And a lot of people feel relieved when the person dies. I felt that way when Mum died. I was relieved.
Better place.
Because it was more than that. My mum she had the biggest heart on the planet, but she could be a difficult woman. And the freedom of not having to live up to that religious expectation anymore, yeah, that was a relief. And I don't apologise for that. Like, I love Mum, but, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah. Just be real with yourself, I guess.
Thank you so much for sharing your story
That's
today,
all right,
by the way. I hope everyone's kind of learned something from that, because it is a very deep story, and I knew it was going to be. But should we lighten the mood a little bit to something else?
Lighten the mood, babe.
Looking at the positives in life and something amazing. Back in 2010, you met your husband, your soulmate. And I love that you believe in soulmates, because I do too. How did you guys meet?
Well, we met online.
How did you know he was the one? That's always a big question.
He had a vocabulary. That's very charming as far as I'm concerned. That was my first thought. Oh, he has a vocabulary. I was like, yeah.
He knows how to talk properly. I love that. Yep.
I don't know. We're both, because of both of our upbringings, I'm a bit of a lone wolf. And so is he. And he said this to me just the other day. He said, who would have dreamed that I could be with somebody that I could be alone and together with at the same time?
Oh,
because we don't control each other.
Yeah.
We're not like, I'm doing this and so are you.
You're coming with me.
I'm doing this. You want to come? No? Okay.
That's great. You gotta have your own things too.
Yeah. So we have a lot of interests that are disparate, but we also have things like we both love the beach, we both love bushwalking, and we both, you know, there's things that we
things
love
you can do
together. And when we share that, it's really quality time.
Yeah.
It's great. We get the chance to miss each other, so it's cool.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And how did I know he was the one for me? He's very
I thought
whimsical.
that was a whole list of stuff, though.
There is a whole list.
That
Well,
was the list.
I did write a list. I wrote a list for my man. Oh my God. And I found it just the other day, and I was like, oh my God.
I did too.
It was half a book long. I was covering every single
And I'm guessing people judged you for it, because people judged my list.
I didn't show anybody
Oh
that
yeah,
list.
people judged that I had a list and how picky it was, but I was like, I just need the one.
The only thing he didn't have is he's not a toolsy kind of guy, like.
No.
But meh.
YouTube. That comes back to YouTube. There you go. You can just look it up.
No, you'll just hire somebody. And save us both the headache.
That's probably a smarter idea in this day and age.
He is a very beautiful person. Really beautiful. And he's poetic. He writes poetry.
Oh,
different to me, but different style to me completely. And he
Must be very romantic.
he's very honest.
That's good. Very good.
And
quality.
that's my internet ad. Oops. I was just tired of relationships that do not work. And so I was really honest. I said, I've got a disabled kid. I'm fat, I'm old, and I want somebody who's not going to be friends with benefits.
Yep.
If that's not you,
Then goodbye. Yep.
um,
That's good. You
I was
you
just
really
really
have to be
blunt.
straight.
And he saw
Yeah.
it was like, honesty.
Straight to the point.
So we communicate really well, and we communicate honestly. And for me, that's the only. I don't. I'm so over the schoolyard games where he said, she said, and trying to guess and all of that. You know, no, just tell me. Give me the respect to give me the choice of how I'm going to react to you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not able to tell me the truth, we're already done, because there's nothing real here. You know, just tell me, because then we can talk about it. Then we can work it out. And if we can't work it out, maybe we can agree to disagree. That's never really happened, because we do talk whenever there's something important to talk about. We really talk about it.
That's good.
And then we move on. And it doesn't mean to say we very rarely have a fight. It's maybe happened twice in the last, is it 10 or 11 years? Rubbish at anniversary.
At least you're honest about it.
So that keeps it going, because you've always got to have two people invested. If you just have one trying hard enough for both, it won't work.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. There you go. Some relationship advice too from Tansy. This is just a whole advice-filled show tonight. Isn't it? I love it. Today, I don't know why I said tonight. It's still daylight out there.
It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. Well, I think it's now time to play a game, Tansy. What do you think?
Oh, sounds cool.
Excited?
Yeah.
Yes. Kind of lighten up the mood even more. And this is a really fun game. Everyone loves it. And it's a good way for all our followers, your fans, to get to know you a little bit better as well. So it's called the 2-minute hot seat. It's quite legendary here on Rave It Up. Used to play it all the time, and then I just brought it back again this year because it went away for a little while. And people were like, where did it go? So I brought it back. So very, very simple. It's a question answer game.
Yeah.
So you just have to pick your preference. So it's like dogs or cats, singing or dancing. And you have to answer as many questions in 2 minutes as possible.
Done.
And
Fire away.
then when you finish, we can see where you sit on the leaderboard up against everyone else that's played the game on the show. No pressure. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ugh. Anticipation. I love this game. All right. 3, 2, 1. Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
iPhone or Samsung?
iPhone.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Rap or rock?
Rap.
Rock or pop?
Rock.
Pop or country?
Pop.
Beach or mountains? Beach or pool?
Beach.
Skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing.
Comedy or action?
Action.
Blondes or brunettes?
Brunettes look intelligent, man.
Sweet or salty? Sweet or salty? Sunglasses or hat?
Sunglasses.
SUV or convertible?
Convertible.
Mac or PC?
PC.
PlayStation or Wii?
Neither.
Singing or dancing? You can say that.
Singing.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Italian or Chinese food?
Chinese.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Kim Kardashian or Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson.
Johnny Depp or Will Smith?
Will Smith.
Mall or online shopping?
Mall.
Cinema or home movie?
Cinema.
Ice cream or gelato?
Ice cream.
Cake or cookies?
Cake.
Cookies or cookie dough?
Cookies.
Family or friends?
Friends.
Football or soccer?
Footy.
Christmas or your birthday?
Birthday.
Night or day?
Night.
Bus or train?
Bus.
Straight or curly hair?
Straight.
Eye color blue or brown?
Blue.
Vampire or werewolf?
Vampire.
Texting or calling?
Calling.
Sydney or Melbourne?
Sydney.
Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
TV or movies?
Movies.
Starbucks or Gloria Jeans?
Starbucks.
Snow or surf?
Surf.
Harry Potter or Twilight?
Twilight.
Family Guy or The Simpsons?
Family Guy.
McDonald's or Hungry Jack's?
Macca's.
Red Rooster or KFC?
KFC.
Oh, and we're out of time, and I'm dropping my phone just when it finishes.
How'd it go? How'd it go?
How many questions do you think you answered in that time?
I don't know. 1,000?
1,000. It does feel like that, doesn't it? I have played it too, and someone asked me the questions, and I'm like, you feel like you've answered so many, but then also
And then
you're
it's
like,
only
it's
20.
gone so quick.
Yeah.
Yes. You answered 45 questions.
Yes.
And
Which
let
is
me have
where
a
on the
look
leaderboard.
at the leaderboard. There's been a lot. You're the 143rd person to play this, so a lot of people.
I thought you were going to say that's where I was on the leaderboard.
You're 100 and
Damn. How many people played this?
you're sitting at number 42 on the Rave It Up
42?
leaderboard.
Slow.
But yeah, who's the last? 58th. So
Yeah,
you've
so
done
I'm
better
like
than that.
Way down.
Yeah, no, you still did very well. What I loved about you did honest answers. You know, a lot of people just like, quick. I don't care what I've answered. And at the end they go, none of that was true. And you're like, well, what was the point? We wanted to learn more about you. That was fun though, wasn't it?
It was,
I
yeah.
love that game. Now, we do need to go back to talk a little bit more about your single. Now that we've kind of loosened up, we've played a game, we've had fun. That makes it sound like we're talking about your single, not going to be fun. I apologize. No, let's go to more fun. Let's talk about more fun. Sweet December Rain. Everyone can go check that out online. What is with me dropping things today? Everyone can go check that out online if
Like
they
a
like.
rainbow.
Whee! Now, I love the cover art, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Were you naked in that photo?
I've
It's
been
very-
told to say I was.
Yeah, because I was like, that's very low cut down, but it's very sexy.
No,
That's what I like
it
about
has
it.
to do with I'm not sure whether I can get away with this, but
Boob tube?
it has. I had on a cocktail dress,
Okay.
but you know, when you get older, there's a certain amount of gravity involved.
Yeah, you don't need to explain any more than that. I get it. But it's a very sexy photo and I love it.
Thank you.
Can we expect a music video for this too? I know it was released a
First
little
week
while
December
ago,
Rain.
but you've got the lyric video.
I've got the lyric video. I think I'm going to do an actual video for the next song, which
Ooh.
will be
Cool.
coming out.
And she can't reveal anything more? No. Okay, that's okay. You just have to come back on the show and tell me all about it.
That'd be lovely. It's been so
Yes.
fun hanging out with you.
It really has. And for anybody that wants... Oh my gosh. Third thing I've dropped today. Okay, my hands are really not enjoying holding palm cards today. I did have a look with this single because you even when I got this CD from Dom, it was so cute. You had your little press release printed out and you'd actually written on it going, "Hi Lauren, thanks for the support." It was so cute. I love it. I've kept it. But this whole song is to raise awareness about the victims of the Black Summer Australian bushfires.
Yes.
What are some other things, you love supporting and will support moving forward? Even will there be more of these types of songs coming out?
What, that come out for supporting things?
Yeah, things like that.
I think I feel so blessed in my life. I feel like I have just had the most interesting time. And I feel like I wanted to start this album off giving something back, just saying thank you. But that wasn't even the initial thing. It was the subject of the song, which was basically about that thing in December where we're all so hot and sweaty and, the sugar cane's burning, the forests are burning, everything's burning, and everybody's longing for rain, which is such an intrinsic experience for Australians. And then we actually wrote it before Black Summer happened. And then we rewrote it
Yeah,
to
because you're like,
be
wow, this
more
actually really works.
pertinent to that. And I said to Nick, because we wrote the song together, I said to Nick, how would you feel about putting in all this work and then just using it to see if we can raise some funds for these poor people? And he was like, cool. So that's why it's...
Because it's all the proceeds, isn't it? Or just part of the proceeds?
Anything that we make.
Oh, wow.
Anything that we make from that track will go to two organisations, Australian Wires or Wildlife Rescue, and Give It Australia, because I did some research and they seemed to be the most supported organisations that came out of Black Summer in terms of legitimately using donated monies to directly help the people and animals who had lost so much during those events that happened in 2019, 2020. So I chose those two because I wanted to help animals and I wanted to help. I couldn't decide. I was like, who do you help?
Both.
So I thought both.
Not in either or world.
Anything that we make, however big or small, will go directly to them.
I love that. It's good you did your research too.
If you don't like the track, I can't imagine why you wouldn't. No. But if perchance it's not your style of thing, just donate to those organisations anyway. There's people who are still living in tents and think how long it's been since the fires, and there are animals whose habitats still haven't recovered, and populations that have been decimated. So please, 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 please find it in your heart. It doesn't matter how small. Everything helps. A lot of us, in comparison and despite COVID, are sitting fairly pretty in comparison to these people. And I feel like they got a bit of a tough deal because it was like the fires finished in February and then COVID started in March.
And then before that we had the floods. It was always something.
It's always something. So...
but we just keep looking at what we're grateful for.
Have
Coming
a listen
back to what you said.
And see if you like it. If you do, buy the song and download the song. And if you would prefer to just donate,
you can do that
you'll
too.
Probably donate more than the CD's worth. So
hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, it's an incredible song.
Thank you.
And when can we expect the next one too? Because we're just so excited. Or I am.
Sorry.
I'm just speaking for everybody.
Don't often get to do the evil laugh, so yeah. Well, we're thinking in a couple of months. We haven't set an exact date.
Okay, so
because we're still working on finishing the rest
final stuff
of the CD, because we were going to do it slowly over a period of time, because I've never done it that way before. I've been like, let's do the whole CD and then we'll do one song after another, the way they used to, but now I'm like, we can take our time, we can actually spend time getting it right, which is really rare actually.
So you're actually creating all the songs for the album first?
I have
or
most
you're doing
of the songs,
song by song?
We're doing song by song. Well,
even recording it song by song?
No.
Like I'll record this, then I'll release it
now. But
okay. Well, it's probably easier that way, isn't it?
No, it
do
is
all the hard work
way.
and then just take a bit of a break, but it doesn't look like you're taking a break because you're releasing left, right, and center. Yes.
Exactly.
That's a smarter idea.
That's
cool. Do it that way.
So
keep us up to date.
One thing away.
Yes. Rave It Up exclusive.
Okay, I'll give you the name.
Oh, okay.
It's Ecstasy.
Oh.
So, because it is the love album.
Sexy. My mind is going wild with possibilities.
Hilariously, Dave heard me writing for the first time like ages ago. And he got all big-eyed and he was like, how do you even do that? And then a couple of weeks later, he'd clearly been thinking about it a lot and he was like, I've had it go.
And you're like,
so
I want to hear this.
He's a little tone deaf. So I was like, figuring out what the tune was.
And, like, go back to your normal job.
He did the lyric for the chorus and kind of, let's say, the melody's based on what he gave me.
Ah.
And for the chorus, and then I took it and turned it into a song with verses and so forth. So
I love it.
but yeah, it's a song about us, and we wrote it together.
Cool.
Dear old Dave. I better go.
I hope he's not listening to this today. Well, that's amazing. I can't wait to listen to it. Keep us up to date, all right?
I will. It's very different to Sweet December Rain. I'll just say that.
Oh, I'm always up for different. That's something I like about you. You just do a little bit of everything. You're unique that way. You know, there's not that many artists out there that do that. They just stick with one genre or one specific sound. But do it all, honey. Do it all.
Well, it all, to my mind, it kind of fits in the same area.
Yes.
Because it's kind of, you know, soul funk, blues. To me, that's
Kind of all, yeah.
family. So.
Then pop's quite different in my eyes, and
Yeah, but if
R&B
you
and
look
pop
at it,
kind of.
If you look
combined
at it,
too.
most pop is derivative of blues. If you take it back, like
Never
chord
thought of that.
progressions and stuff like that, it's
The technical stuff, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I'll shut up now.
I've learned so much today. Thank you. I hope everyone else has too. And we are unfortunately getting to the end of the interview.
Okay.
We've been chatting forever. It's gone so quickly though. But as a closing statement,
Yeah.
it was probably the most important question. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your 14-year-old self?
It's not that bad.
Oh, yes. I like that. Short and
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
There you
Because
go.
you're such a drama queen when you're a
Especially for
teenager.
everything we've spoken about today, that really just sums up everything. That, you know,
Yeah.
you just look at her now. Just looking at the bright side of life. And I think that's something we should all take away from Tansy today and learn from her to do it in our own lives. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
I just loved it. Thank you so much for
Where can we
having me.
follow you or find out where you're up to in the future?
I'm on Spotify under
Yeah.
Tansy Mayhew. I'm on Instagram under Tansy Mayhew. I'm on half a dozen other things through DistroKid.
Yes.
Where else?
So that's where we can see
Earth,
the new songs
YouTube.
coming up. YouTube,
Yeah.
yes. The lyric video for Sweet December Rain's up there.
I'm on Facebook, Tansy Music Live.
Cool.
is
Everyone
the-
go follow her.
Yes, please do.
And you're welcome on the show anytime in the future, all right? If you, the new songs, I definitely want to talk to you about it, all right? Ecstasy, I got so many questions already. That's the best type of interview. That's why I got so many questions. And I love that we get along so well and everything's just open and honest. So this interview's just gone so well and so easy and free-flowing. I love those types of interviews. I hope you've had fun too.
It's just been really lovely.
And thank you for
Thanks
coming to
having
me. It's so nice. She travelled how long?
Well, longer than I could be, than I needed to, because I kept missing the exit.
You're like you're in your own little world. Oh,
Snotty.
GPS. Sorry,
Whoopsie.
recalculating. So sorry,
Do that.
GPS.
Can't take me anywhere.
Well, it's been a pleasure. And everyone, go get Sweet December Rain if you haven't already, or just donate to those amazing charities as well.
Yes,
And just
please.
take little bits of what Tansy said today and add it to your own life. I think this whole interview has just been life-changing. So thank you so much.
Aw, that is so lovely.
Well,
Thank you.
for my life, anyway. I hope it is to everyone else's. Well, for now, thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.